All right, guys, good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the aftermarket recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me today and every afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo. Click on that. Turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel. Really do appreciate it as always. Let's go and talk about it. The Dow fell 413 points today. NASDAQ down 2.18%. S&P down 1.69% this session. The VIX did climb 15.17%. Equal weight S&P did fare better because it doesn't have as much tech weighting. That was down about 1%. QQQ down about 2.37%. Dollar index did gain, did tap above 100. 99.97 is where it is now. 2.780 is where we are on the 10-year yield. Just an update on mortgage rates. The national average for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is now 5.08%. The average 15-year fixed mortgage is 4.23%, according to Bankrate's latest survey of nation's largest mortgage lenders. So again, that could be an opportunity to start taking a look at the home builders, things that may have been beaten down in a sense. Home Depot was down slightly, down 1.41% on that. Lowe's at about 1.1%. Let's see KB Homes. I can find it here. KBH. They were actually up today. So again, I think they had some buybacks as well. So they were up today. I think D.R. Horton, DRI, I believe that was it. D.R. Horton, nope. DRH. D.R. Horton, let me see if I could find it. It's funny because I used to own DRH, D.R. Horton. Let's see if I can find D.R. Horton's thing here. D.R. Horton stock. These are the home builders, so I want to make sure that I have a DHI. DHI, there we go. And DHI was actually up today, so okay, forget that. I was thinking maybe we'd have a little bit of a linkage between higher mortgage rates and home builders. So actually, that's not the case. So I mean, it did outperform today. So well, throw that thing out the window. Let's take a look here at high yield credit. Was down 0.69%, investment grade credit down 0.97%. Crude oil was down again 3.13%. So even crude going down as well, starting to hit major support, almost looking like we're going to retrace that whole big move that we had from 90.06. Remember, we got out of XOP. Again, I'm starting to look at energy here. Again, I think we're going to retrace to around 90, maybe around 88. You can start picking and choosing some of these energy companies, possibly. Since they are value companies and they do pay a dividend. Again, I want to see if I can get to around $88 for a barrel of crude, and then maybe we can get some energy stocks that are a little on the cheaper. They were the worst performer today, down 2.37% on the S&P. I can show you here the heat map. AT&T had a day. They were up 7.46% after the big fall, after they spun off Time Warner. Twitter was up today 1.69%. GM, Ford, all up. Tesla was down, kind of lumped into the tech space. They were down today. Apple down 2.5%. The banks, we played banks today. We had Goldman Sachs calls over the weekend. We caught that. Very well done. It hit as high as 80%. Now it's down 0.2% on the stock. It was actually up nicely today, even with rates going up. Rates and banks and financials usually go higher hand in hand. Healthcare finally taking a little bit of a breather. Healthcare has been outperforming. UNH were my favorite companies. I know I always talk about them. Down 1.5%. Today, AMD, NVIDIA, semiconductor stocks were just down. They were hit. I did buy some AMD last week, so I'm looking for NVIDIA for an opportunity to buy below $200 if I can get there. There is a gap to fill, a lot of gaps to fill to the upside for these semiconductors names. So don't be surprised we get a turnaround sometime this week. Maybe I'm keeping an eye on those AMD 100 calls. Maybe we can get something out of there. But again, I want to see the space tomorrow and see how they do. Maybe NASDAQ does bounce. I did also have SPY puts today. They were very slow rolling premiums, but they are now in the money now. I had the 440 puts with the team and we caught that. To round out the day, gold was actually up. It actually tapped red for a little bit, but was up 0.61%. Silver up 1.72%. Gasoline $3.02. Bitcoin was slammed today. It is now below 40,000. I thought once we got that break of above 46, the worst would be over, but that wasn't the case. You could see that 46,000 level on the daily. If I can bring that up here. Sorry if my nose sounds a little stuffed up, still getting over it. Remember, we tapped that 200-day. Looked like we broke it, and then we just rejected. So again, we need to see if we can get back up there. I haven't really changed anything in terms of Bitcoin other than just buying some every week. So nothing has really changed on my view. I still like Bitcoin. I still like Ethereum. I still like everything I still have. Again, I haven't sold anything as of yet in terms of Bitcoin and stuff like that. All right, so let's answer some questions as we go along here. Let's see, Mattia's asking about ES. All right, let's go and take a look on E-mini futures. Definitely something I always look at on a daily basis. Let's go to the daily chart and see where everything's at. We just did break the 50-day moving average. It's a really, really big level. So 43.71 could definitely be in effect. The only reason I didn't hold my puts the way I did, again, we have CPI tomorrow. I have a runner on SPY puts, but 43.71 seems to be that next level down. That's the 61.8 extension on the fib, or if you flip it over, it's a 38.2. We're now below the 50% retracement level from peak to trough of what we had. This was the wick low in terms of the S&P. So 43.71 seems to be that's next, but we have the CPI tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. I want to see how the market reacts to that. Again, anything could happen. So again, if it's a really good reading and we get a nice bounce in the market, then there's opportunities for upside. But it looks like we're breaking a lot of support here. So again, on ES, I think 43.71 is definitely in focus. 4,400 could be that, round number theory where we can bounce there as well. We had that close back in a couple of Sundays ago, about 3 weeks ago. And then that's where we started getting to really push up. So let's see if that's a double bottom in a sense. Maybe 43.71 would take us back to levels not seen since 3 Fridays ago. Again, could be just a little more pain. I think 43.71 seems to be where we kind of be pulling to. I wouldn't open a position against it as of right now. I wouldn't want to do anything to add more risk. But again, let's see what the opportunities bring. But 43.71 seems about right. If not, 44.54 for a break. If you're looking on the daily, you could see 44.54 would be, 44.54 is right here on that 50, but no real major moving averages. Need to go above 44.86, which is the 200-day. Hello, what are your thoughts on food distribution stocks like SYY? Thanks. Yeah, if you're expecting, more demand in terms of those companies like Cisco, that's what they're called. Let's take a look at the stock itself. I hopefully it pays a dividend. That's more of a defensive name. Pay a 2% yield. I mean, why not own them? Revenue's up, net income is up, diluted EPS is up, profit margins are up. So just looking at a quick glance at them, their EPS missed in Q2 2022, but they beat on the revenue. So again, looking at it year to date, they have done okay. I mean, we started around 78.95, had a spike, and then we got to 84.71. Seems like a good value play if you want to own that. I'm not against it. So I'd say fire away if you really like it. Thoughts on recession talking? Think we can get a retest of 4,100 May 5th FOMC? I think a lot of it is kind of priced in a sense. We want to see CPI. And again, I think we're going to get 50 basis point anyways. I think that's already expected. I think once it happens, we'll actually get a boost like we had last time. So again, it seems that we're just going to get a range here. I don't think we get to 4,300 personally. I don't think we get to 42.52 at all. I think we'll get to 43.71 and bounce off there. So we're getting closer to the end where we're going to get a little of a bounce and probably some opportunities out there. I'll be definitely looking at tech that has been wrecked down, definitely some semiconductors where I can get some on a little bit on the cheap side, and then we have earnings coming up. And that'll be a nice, interesting catalyst where everyone is bearish on these tech stocks and they knock it out of the park and then the stocks bounce. Usually what happens, we either get a run up into earnings and they sell off, or we get a sell off into earnings and they run up. Market makers, I tell you. You're welcome. Is there a probability of a 75-point rate hike? I highly doubt it unless we're like double digits on CPI. If the CPI number tomorrow is a disaster, like double digits, 10% or something crazy, yeah, then we could talk about 100 basis points. But I don't see it going above 50, to be honest. But it's good because the Fed is also getting more ammunition in their pocket to cut in the future, which I'm pretty sure they will if things slow down that bad. I'll continue trading Snow daily, but should I buy shares? Snow, I think there's better cloud plays out there. I think Amazon's better. I think Microsoft's better. I think CRM's better. I think Snow is just too darn expensive, personally. We can go to Snow stock on here, and you can see there's not even a PE ratio. It's just very expensive in terms of earnings and everything like that. They did beat their EPS. The revenue is up 2.92%. So their numbers are decent, but again, they're pretty much taking a hit with all kind of high tech. It hit as high as 400. I mean, if you're expecting a 50% bounce back in this stock or a double bounce back, 100% move, then yes, I guess so you could swing it. But again, I think there's better options out there personally. But if you want to get something in terms of the stock price being beat down and look for a turnaround story, Snow might be it. Thoughts on semis? I do love semis. Again, I'm looking to buy more. I think AMD and NVIDIA, again, a lot of crowding. But again, I think it's a great company to own. They make great money. They make good cash flow, great balance sheet, great executives. I think you're just getting this here at a good price. That's all it is. You're getting a sale. That's really how I see it. SPY ready to bounce. That really depends on tomorrow in terms of the CPI data. So I don't know what's happening tomorrow at 8:30. I don't know what the reading is going to be. But if it's better than expected, I expect a big a short squeeze tomorrow. I would expect us to get to around 44.84 if it's really good. Let's just see. Do you expect a balance sheet reduction to scare markets? I think we're going to get the balance sheet reduction regardless from the Fed. They have to. I think it'll be done slowly but surely. Again, there's a lot of hawks out there. So again, what they say and what they do are two different things. Remember, it's still a committee-based approach. They have to make sure that they kind of realize what they're going to do before they do it. But again, it's easy to talk in front of reporters or stuff like that. But when an implementation comes, push comes to shove, and you say, hey, we're going to put these bonds in the market and sell them off for balance sheet, it's a tough sell, especially on a midterm year. Keep in mind, politics do play a role, guys. Keep in mind. As a good trader, you need to keep an eye on politics. I shouldn't think you should consume your life, but understand that it's important in terms of kind of what the money goes. So, or you can just follow Nancy Pelosi's trades. I'm kidding. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like these videos. Appreciate you as always. Cheers.